Hello everyone, it's Crystal Ether here, and I hope I don't sound too terrible from being ill. Today, I'll be covering the characters released in the second chapter of the first Storm arc, Akira, Victor, and the free Junior card. Like Gast and Marion, these cards represent the developments of Helios' ongoing story and reflect their determination to see things through. But let's see how the story has influenced the skill kits of these cards. Before we begin, I just want to make a note that if you really like the card, then go for it. This is a single player game, so you should enjoy your roster how you like. First Storm Akira is ready to fight with his allies, bringing useful buffs that can increase in potency when Gast is on the team. The developers likely made this Akira under the Brave attribute typing to pair well with First Storm Gast, except that his Valentine's version would benefit much more from this card's skill set and linked skill effects. Unfortunately, this card works well thematically, but not in practice. The core critical rate and damage buffs are for Akira himself, yet only have a level 1 modifier, which is quite low. Demanding that Gast is slotted into team is another limitation that this card faces. The initial cooldowns on both of his skills also doesn't help his case for how weak they are, especially when this Akira already has an uphill battle compared to his other Brave cards. The fact that he requires special attack orbs to maximize his burst skill is unfortunate, as this card can't provide those orbs on its own, but also encourages players to lock in First Storm Victor or one of his few allies who can provide special attack orbs. To put it bluntly, this Akira is another victim of integrating story with gameplay, but is significantly limited if the player deviates from the story-mandated team. Players who do plan to use this Akira will need to decide if they wish to run him as a support or a DPS. If they want to use him as a support, the Hunting and Rampage frames are his best choice for support. Under a DPS role, Akira will shine with his first birthday frame, which grants him an attack buff and gives him a special attack orb for his burst skill. His Chapter 1 frame, which provides self-healing and grants a flat buff to his critical rate and critical damage, is another option if you already have a source of special attack orbs. Lastly, a budget-friendly option exists in his 3-star Chapter 1 frame, which provides BP gauge for Akira as well as a boost to his attack and critical rate in its passive. The other North Mentor brings some nifty utility in converting attack orbs into special attack orbs. This Victor's skills designate him as a DPS, but his unfortunate passion attribute typing means he has to compete with this absolutely stacked Christmas version released last month. With both skills on cooldown for 2 turns, this card's playstyle focuses on conserving resources and waiting for the right moment to strike. Unfortunately, bringing only a self-targeted BP buff paints this card as something released back in 2021, with nothing else to show for it. The gas condition also doesn't make up for how little value this buff brings by itself. His second skill is his bread and butter, allowing him and other First Storm cards in this set, Akira and Junior, to take advantage of the secondary effects of their burst skill. In theory, he can be quite powerful, but he will often lack enough attack orbs to convert unless you refrain from using this attacker. It's clear that they intend to use his BP regeneration skill to fill his BP gauge and unleash a powerful burst skill, but its low modifier makes it too inefficient to rely on in boss fights. Some frames I'd recommend for this Victor include his first birthday frame to lower this 3 special attack orb requirement for his burst skill, or his Halloween frame to buff an ally or himself with a massive attack buff. Victor's 3-star frame from Chapter 4 or one of the commemorative 2nd anniversary frames can also work to provide BP gauge, but Victor himself lacks frames that support his role as a DPS. Despite their skill effects and link skills, neither Akira nor Victor synergize well with First Storm Gast in practice. The latter would greatly appreciate skill damage buffs and cooldown reduction, but neither of these cards provide those key abilities to him. I suppose they're supporting Gast the hero, not the soldier. Junior is a bit of a surprise, but this West rookie is ready to do his part to support his allies. He isn't nearly as cracked as the previous welfare card, but he provides a flat attack and defense buff to his allies and can paralyze a foe in a pinch. Skills are similar to his other 3-star hero cards, so if you have those, then skipping First Storm Junior isn't a huge loss. While his skills do get enhanced if Gast is present in the party, he arguably has the least offensive support value out of Marion, Akira, and Victor, as his skills are unremarkable and have low cooldowns for what they bring. His passive skills try to make Junior out to be a DPS, but Paralyzed is a very limiting status effect, and his lower stats as a 3-star card make it difficult to justify Junior in this role. He strikes very hard for one turn, and then spends most of the fight being a cheerleader. Junior's attempts to play both DPS and support are mediocre at best, but he is free, I guess. If you do plan to use First Storm Junior, then his 3-star cheerleader frame is the best option for him, as it provides 2 special attack orbs to the entire team and heals them as well, all at the cost of 10% of Junior's HP. The skill effectively refunds itself. Other choices include his Valentine's frame, as it buffs himself and a select ally's critical damage stat, and his Chapter 5 frame to reduce his skill cooldowns by 1 turn. This set of main story cards are honestly not that great gameplay-wise, as there is a clear focus on the thematic aspects of their characters. From Akira's fiery determination to believing Gast but unsure how to best support him, and Victor's own affirmation of his former reckless innocence despite his typical arm's length approach, I can at least agree with the care they put into designing these cards. None of them are really meta-defining and come with some noticeable drawbacks, but if you can work around them or just simply are in love with these characters, then they'll perform adequately for clearing most of the game's content. Be mindful of their different attributes if you plan to put them together in a party, as frames that buffet attributes attack or HP will be inefficient in this type of team. That's all for this analysis. If you enjoy the content, please consider subscribing to the channel. Otherwise, I'll see you all in the next video.